Tuesday episode of Everyday Struggle for this week. And listen, this is going to be a special episode because as you can clearly tell, we got Nona Deska here. So inmates are running the asylum. Yeah, no, there's Nona Deska. There's Nona Deska here. So this is a special episode. But in reality, she's having some, internet problems. So she was trying to get on, couldn't make it today. But she'll probably most likely be back tomorrow. Regardless, since the inmates are running the asylum, Wayno,
she can't break us up today.
Right? Yeah, she can't stop. She can't stop the fun today.
She can't. I
meant to ask you this yesterday, but everybody wants to also know, and they thought we were dodging the topic. What happened with Drake, man? Give us a breakdown, man.
A breakdown, bro. I really think that everybody's taking this shit like so far because it made like news. It was all over. All that happened was it's a page. Shout out to my guy, Too Cool to Blog. You know what I mean? It's his blog page. I follow it, for content. And he always posts everything that's going on. Same as you. Like, you know what I mean? He posts a lot of stuff that's going on. And I seen that, Drake, he always follows like the SBL League. So I'm always watching, catching updates on it or whatever. And he said,
it's like a basketball league, right?
Yes, it's Drake's basketball league in the crib, right?
Gotcha.
So I'm like, I said, oh, like they said he won a championship. So I was like, of course he won a championship in his house, So Drake, I guess Drake seen my comment and he commented it called me a nerd, and it just went insane after that. You know what I mean? Like every blog picked it up. I'm like, damn, like for all the things that we've said that's been positive, nobody's ever picked that up, but they caught that one little thing. To me, it's really not nothing. I'm not really offended. You know what I'm saying?
Were you offended by the word nerd? Because somebody called me a nerd. I don't really care.
The thing
I've never seen Wayno be the nerd.
Nah, and no disrespect to the nerds. I got love for all the nerds around the world, but I think what he's possibly using to define the word nerd is not nerd. So, end of the day, bro, it's the internet. Like one thing I learned from you is like you can't defeat the internet. Let him. He got to say that. I said my piece back to him because I feel like he's just bothered by anybody that he don't like mentioning his name, which we mention his name all the time because he's the fucking biggest artist right now. He's considered the best rapper, of our time at this moment. So yeah, we talk about him. You know what I mean? But he said that I chat about men. I chat about men too much. So
you had to go UK on you a little bit. What's the problem?
Nah, it's all good, man. Salute to the UK too. But nah, it's it just was funny to me. Like, you know what I mean? I don't take it no personal. I don't take it no way, for real. Like, it ain't that serious to me. I don't think he considers.
So you're not gonna be a little bit salty when we talking about Drake now, given that he made that comment.
For what, bro? Like, I still think the nigga is a dope artist. Like, that's not changing how I feel. Like, the nigga ain't threatened me. He ain't harmed me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I come from outside for real. Like, this is music. This is entertainment. This is our jobs. And I didn't take it no way. It's like, he knows who I am. Okay, who cares? Like, you know what I mean? Cool.
All right. Well, it was a little entertainment for the weekend, a little back and forth. We had a little fun with it. Listen, we keep it light over here. We do our jobs. We try to, not to offend, but of course, sometimes people will be offended.
Right.
But let's get into some rap
conversations
now. You feel me? Young Miami of the City Girls, right? Mm-hmm. She was on Twitter addressing critics saying that she can't rap anymore. Like people basically were saying she can't rap, right? She called fans hypocrite, and let me read the exact quote. She says, listen, when City came out, and I'm guessing she's talking about the group, I was trending. Y'all said I was rapping. I improved. I was eating shit. Y'all back saying I can't rap? What the heck? Y'all been saying this since day one. Yo, they got to learn how to tweet because this is non-coherent. She also continued by saying, listen, what if I quit? This is how I feed my family. If y'all don't like my verses, don't listen to them. I don't give a fuck because when we have concerts, it'd be a bunch of motherfuckers in there screaming my shit. What do you think about Young Miami, her rapping ability? We all know, Act Up, was famously wrote by Lil Yachty.
Right,
do you think that she has a right to kind of feel a way about people critiquing her rap skills or ability?
I mean, end of the day, bro, she is human. So she's going to, like she said, when she goes to shows, I've been at, I think it was Birthday Bash when she performed, and they were singing her songs word for word. Like, the thing is that people be focused on, and I wouldn't say she's focused on the wrong shit because it's all coming through her social feeds or whatever. And you want to be on social sometimes just to stay up to date. But yeah, she's focusing on the wrong shit. She got way more love than she does hate. Now, Young Miami, we never looked at Young Miami to be like Nicki. You know what I'm saying? We never looked at her to be like Rhapsody, like the next best rapper. I don't consider her like a great rapper. I think that she's a great entertainer, and I'm cool with how she delivers her music. But people just find shit to say when they sit and ain't got much to do and create conversation. She just can't get caught up on it, you know? What you think about that though? Like,
Interestingly enough, I'm glad that she's kind of like responding to it a little bit. I'm gonna tell you why. Remember Cardi B? Remember when Cardi B came out with Bodak Yellow and people found out that it was written by somebody else? And third, people were like, oh no, Cardi's just like, she's like a ventriloquist. You know what I mean? Like she's just the person who's kind of like being the voice, but she's really not the talent. And I'm not gonna lie, Cardi started to put in a lot more work into her craft, a little bit to show people like, no, I'm not just here to just say whatever somebody else said. I'm here to put in work. We saw her countless times in the studio. I remember, I forget what record, maybe it was a record with Meek. She made it a point, I think he even said it, she wrote the record in front of him.
Right,
you get me?
right.
Which I think she wanted to not only just be the face of a brand that type of music was coming from, she wanted to be respected a little bit for some of the musical talent that she was exhibiting. So I understand why Young Miami might be like saying that. I'm just hoping it kind of doubles down with her being more focused and putting more effort into her work, because that's the only way you shut people the fuck up. You know what I mean?
I mean, the thing is that, you know, I just think it's just the social media shit, bro. It's like that shit really be affecting people's lives the way like it really bothers and hurts them. I think, like, you know, as successful as she is, you know, for the fans that she does have that love her to death, like that's where you got to really push your energy towards. And then you let like how Nicki let the Bobs fight it out with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's right.
like, she let the Bobs like let your people support you, and then let them combat all of them conversations, because that's not a war she's really gonna win. Even, and it's a little bit more tougher for the ladies because we knew that Yachty wrote the record. Everything she does after that, people are gonna try to say, "Oh, she didn't do it." She could fucking have the best verse ever, and people want to discredit her for it. So the thing is, she got to figure out what fight exactly as she fighting. Like, do you just want to be the greatest entertainer, or do you want to be respected as a rapper? I think that she's a good entertainer, and she should just focus on that.
Do you think that basically, like, you know, because that was a viral moment when people found out that Yachty wrote "Act Up." Do you feel like that has given them a tint to their whole career now, where like they'll always get people like just jabbing them? And what do you do? Like, you're a manager, you have your artists who, you know, by the way, it's whether people know it or not, it's kind of customary that people get help on songs or verses, and also get hooks or whatever given to them. What would you tell a new artist who now is like feeling a certain type of way that they keep seeing this in their mention?
Man, listen, is your bills paid? like, are your bills paid? Is your mama all right? You know, I think like, and that's the thing. I think you know, ironically, Drake was the person who he caught the real wrath of the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I always looked at it like,
and that's
like,
a little bit different though. We can't say like, but the standard we hold Drake to, the City Girls, no.
No, it's not the same. I'm just saying, as far as like having help with, or having like somebody help with the records or whatever, because it's only looked like that in rap. Because in R&B, no, like R&B, 90% of the people who write R&B don't sing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like all writers, but 100%. Those songs are still respected. It's like we don't look at Beyonce any different just because, you know, I think singing requires more skill than rapping. You know what I mean? As far as vocally. Now, I think like for me, as if I was a manager, I'd just be like, yo, let's focus on what we got going. Don't lose track. You know what I'm saying? Because once you lose track and then you get in interviews and you start trying to fight that, monster, the internet, it's going to start attacking you. You know, you just got to focus on what's most important in the career at the moment.
I agree wholeheartedly, actually. But speaking of, like, you know, you can't compare like a Drake to the City Girls.
Nah, not at all.
A different level and a higher expectation of certain artists. But let's speak about some of those artists, right? Recently, Lupe, he came out and said he's a better lyricist than Kendrick Lamar. This is the top of the top, right?
Yeah.
He says Kendrick makes better songs than him, but lyrically, he got him, okay? Now, on Twitter, pretty much the question was, who's the better lyricist between Kendrick Lamar and Lupe? He said, listen, I love me some K-Dot. Always have, always will. With that said, I do think he's a good lyricist. Or do I think he's a good lyricist? Yes. Do I think he's the best lyricist? No. Do I think it's lyricists that are better than him? Yes. Is he a better lyricist or a better artist than me? Yes. Is he a better lyricist than me? No. Does he make better songs? Yes. Anyway, you agree with his statement because he kind of came back to even defend that.
So look, it was a point in time when Lupe was in my top 5. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I hold Lupe as one of the greatest rappers there is. I feel like he has 2 undeniable classic albums with Food and Liquor and The Cool. And yes, he can rap his ass off. I think there was a point in time where he could have been considered a better lyricist than Kendrick. If I'm comparing like early in their career, with his first because Section 80 is really Kendrick Lamar's first real project that people started respecting him for. Good Kid, Mad City was the full-length album that really got his notoriety and his critical acclaim. I'm taking Kendrick, but it ain't far. Like, it's not far. I think that it's only because Lupe, as his career went on, he started regressing as an artist. You know what I mean? Like, after Lasers, a lot of things changed for Lupe. And then Food and Liquor 2, it was kind of like getting back a bit, but I felt like the energy wasn't there like the first one. I think that Kendrick, to me,
how much do you think is the label? Because he's of course went through notorious like fights with his label. How much you think is that as opposed to skill?
Well, I think that Lasers. I really feel like Lasers was the only album where Lupe really fought over the whole creative control thing. After that, it seemed like he just went back to doing what he was doing. Skill wise, I think he's just as good as Kendrick. To me, is he better? No, but skill wise, he's just as good as Kendrick, just as good. And catch him on the right day, he might outball Kendrick on a lot of different things. You can't dispute that.
And like following up with what you're saying, I think even the conversation about who's the better lyricist comes down to: are we talking about catalog or just straight ability? Right? Are we talking about what we have on record or what we know you could probably do?
Right.
You get me? And I think if we're going on what we've seen, how many times you've delivered, not only, again, we're not just talking project, we're just talking lyricism. I'm going to give Kendrick a nod. But do I think that Lupe ain't in the same realm as him? Like, I think if you've ever listened to Lupe dropped 2 classics off the rip. Lupe's right there. You know what I mean? So again, I'm with you. On the right day, the right time, the right beat, who knows? Lyrically, either one could get the better of the other. I just feel like this is where it's what you're arguing. Are you arguing ability? And by the way, I would look at him crazy if he said, "Oh no, yeah, Kendrick's a better artist. He makes better songs. He makes better albums.
Better
and
he's
better
lyricist." Right?
Like,
Just better everything, right? No,
yeah. So I'm gonna say Kendrick, but I'm not gonna just say he's not.
That's what I'm saying.
Close behind.
I say Kendrick too because I just think that Kendrick, his career is aging better.
I've just seen more from Kendrick. Yeah. I'll be honest. I've seen more from Kendrick. You know what I mean? And Kendrick has always hit the nail on the head with just delivering product when he has put stuff out. Right. And I'm not gonna lie, that Lasers project, I was like, okay, all right, let's see what's going on here.
Lasers is for real, fans who love Lupe unconditionally because I made myself love that album. But there is
you made yourself love it. What?
I made at the time because it was he was going through so much shit with the label. I'm like, man, this might be his last one. He was on that that Jay-Z shit, man, I'm done after this. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, we gotta hold on to this one. I'm Beaming is one of my favorite songs ever. You know what I'm saying? I think that Lupe, like you said, I agree a lot with what you said, but I give Kendrick the nod, but the disrespect for Lupe, bro, it's people act like this nigga, he just came out of nowhere. And I think that goes into the conversation that we always have about our elders in hip hop, because now Lupe, while he still might look a little young, he's a little bit older, and the disrespect comes in where people just forget any and everything you've done.
Do you think this is disrespect, right? What? Because Punch from TDE, Punch being, you can't mention TDE. You can't mention TDE and Punch don't tweet something immediately. Right. Punch tweeted out, in all caps, LOL. Okay? Which pretty much, I don't know if he's laughing at, that thought, or he's like, is this dude tripping, or, okay, this is just funny all around. What did you take by even him saying that?
No, I think Punch is definitely laughing. Cause honestly, bro, just imagine, we can, what I love about Kendrick's career is, he has that similar factor of, Meek. You know how you could go back on YouTube and just searching OJ Rock videos, you could see you could look at Meek and see all the Meek's battles and all that. You could do that with Kendrick. You could go back on YouTube and see all types of shit. and Punch been there from the start. So like his take is a little bit more different when you seeing this shit happen. You seeing magic happen right in front of your eyes. You working on it. You putting it together. So like I know Punch is probably like, oh, this nigga's bugging the fuck out. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
hey, one thing I always give Punch credit for, like he goes to bat for his niggas.
Absolutely.
Okay, like
Absolutely.
unapologetically. Like he don't even want to entertain that discussion.
Yeah,
you get me? Like you know, as critics and me and you, like we're like, yo, you know what? If we get the right day, right beat, like he's like, yo, this is get this type of shit off my timeline. You know?
Are y'all crazy? Like that's what he on.
No, absolutely. But you know what caught me off guard recently?
What?
And by the way, yo, just to wrap this up, Lupe did end by saying that, yo, Section 80 is his favorite Kendrick project, and also said TD is his favorite label. So, you know, no beef there. Really obviously, it's just Twitter conversation. Niggas is bored. Okay, we had a crib. Anyway, somebody else on TD, Reason, he accused Logic of stealing from hip hop culture. Now, hold on, because when I heard this, I thought I'm like, nah, he not talking about. Let me say the line. It's on this track called The Soul Part 2. He says, see, y'all mistake my name for Logic's. Y'all got me fucked up. How could you compare a nigga that take from the culture versus a nigga that's for it?
Well,
he's accused. That's very strong
accusations. Well, I mean, first
we have no idea why, like, if this was provoked, why this happened, but clearly he's taking a shot at Logic. What do you think about the culture? It seems like he's calling a culture vulture.
Right. So, I mean, first and foremost, like, Reason, my nigga. Like, I fuck with Reason. You know what I mean? Real heavy. I just feel like Logic is an easy target. I feel like there's a lot of other people.
Remember he said bullying got him to quit rap? This is the bullying.
Like, I feel like Logic's an easy target. I feel like there's a lot more culture vultures in this game that we don't speak about, and a lot of them look just like us. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot
Let
of.
me ask you a question though.
Yeah.
What do you think? And I guess this is to let's kind of unpack this. Do you think Logic is from this culture? Because when you accuse someone of taking something from this culture, sometimes it's like you're almost hinting that person isn't from this culture to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, do you think Logic's from this culture? Do you think that we look at him a certain type of way because he's biracial and maybe his background?
Logic. I'm gonna tell you the thing with Logic. Logic, all right, we all know that he's half black and half white, right? But he just looks more white. I think he gets a.
He got to catch a tan, bro. He got to start using that Trump orange spray tan. You got to do something.
Because I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, it's two totally different artists and two totally different people. But like J. Cole's mom is white. That never comes up in a conversation at all.
Never.
It never. Nobody ever says that. Nobody never says nothing about J. Cole being biracial and none of that shit. You know what I mean? It never comes up. With Logic, I feel like Logic can rap. I just think that Logic is just like kind of he an easy target because he's a corny guy, but I think there's nothing wrong with him like being who he is. You know what I'm saying? I just think that he plays too much on like what affects him. That's why people attack him on it. It's like because every time you know how people deal with mental health and shit. Every time somebody is going through something, the first thing they can say is, "You rich? Fuck is you worried about? Like why are you like you know what I mean?" And Logic, I think Logic, his career, he's been a little bit it's also helped him that he don't look as black as he do. For real. Like I don't think he would be the same artist or treated the same way if he didn't look the way he did. Now, aside from that, he's a decent rapper, but he puts that into too much of his music. You know what I'm saying? Like he puts that into too much of his music, and then it goes back to the whole the internet, Twitter, all them, they got it for the artists that have to use those platforms to really push their projects. They need some sort of fucking I wouldn't say human resources, but they need some sort of like intervention classes for these niggas to deal with this shit. For real, yeah.
Hey, yo, here's the thing. I'm gonna try to make a little bit of sense. I'm not calling what Reason said nonsense, but like, to be honest, it was one of those where like I'm listening to this, so I'm like, oh, whoa, what? Like it felt like it was a little random. So, how could Logic be taken from this culture, right? Again, he's biracial. J. Cole's biracial. Drake's biracial. I do believe that when you listen to, I'm trying to remember the name of the project, one of his earlier projects, I think most famously on the show we had criticized them This was right before your era. About just like he was trying to go for the biracial struggle. Like that was his whole thing. And I think, like the term or the phrase these days keep coming up, like, yo, look outside, where people might be like, all right, cool, like, yo, all that stuff don't matter right now. Like, why isn't if your content was that then, why isn't your content matching what's going on outside right now?
Right.
It seems like you could kind of duck on out of it when it's convenient to not be in that spotlight. You get me? So yeah. I'm just guessing. I'm guessing because honestly, like, it seemed a little random to me.
And I'm not calling reason to do this, but I feel like also when we talk about people being culture vultures and shit, we gotta start looking at a lot of people who push the whole narrative of being gang members, man. Like for real, like a lot of that shit. That's culture vulture. Like if you go to LA and you really be around these people, you understand that that's their neighborhood and it's tribal. And then when it leaves and it's in other cities and people are pushing that, it's pushing oppression. And I feel like that's culture vulturism as well. Like, you know what I mean? Taking that gang shit and using it as a marketing tool to fuel your career. I think that's being a culture vulture as well. So I think like we got to start talking about all of it if we cool with having them uncomfortable conversations. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, great point by you, right? I also want to throw into like just the atmosphere. Do you think, because we've seen a couple artists, we've seen Joyner had a problem with Logic. Mm-hmm. We've seen, who else? Obviously Reason now, but I feel like sometimes when I see people comment on Logic, do you think there's any hint of jealousy? Because
I don't think it's no jealousy at all.
Don't think so.
I just think that, the thing about Logic is like, the only thing I don't like about the shit with Logic is that like he don't bother nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing I don't like. You know what I mean? Like
and that's why I said jealousy, because like for the most part, like he seems to be having really good success, mm-hmm. and he stays out of everybody's way, stays to himself. He's not really rapping and promoting anything detrimental. He's focused on his mental health and his issues. Why everybody got a problem with Logic when there's dudes out here rapping and singing about promoting lean, death, murder? They're promoting misogyny, everything else.
But I mean, the thing with that is like, you might catch an issue with somebody else. You know what I mean? Like you might make it uncomfortable.
So you say niggas know who to try.
Sometimes I'm not gonna put that on everybody, but like if I was Logic, man, I ain't gonna front, man. I'll do the little Boosie, man. I pull a good 100,000 out the account and be like, find the 20, I'm pussy. If I was Logic, I'd start flexing on these niggas. Like, y'all niggas will keep playing with me, talking about how I'm a culture vulture. Look at all this bread. I do the Kodak sleeve shit. I start doing that on niggas, yo.
A money phone.
Yeah, I start doing money because Logic got that fucking bread, nigga. I start pulling out money on niggas. Fuck it. Why not?
Yo, it would be sad as fuck if Logic got to do that for me. Like, no, now y'all think I'm part of the culture?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm up in V Live now, nigga.
Yeah,
I'm in V Live. I'm going crazy. What's up?
Right.
What's up?
Logic flex on niggas a little bit. Yo, if Logic, I swear to God, bro, if Logic go get him a crazy watch and jump in, he got a lot of cars. He do that.
Yo, he pull out a watch. He say, he got 2 watches on. Say, man, I'm the only nigga that got 2 of these. Yeah, it's 2 of 2, and both of them right here.
Come on, man. That's just gonna get Logic the respect he deserves, man. Leave that boy.
My God.
Reason, but nah, for real. Reason really my man. I fuck with. We talk all the time, like.
Yo, Tedeschi, you see what happens when you ain't here? Do you see what happens? Okay?
Right.
We go off topic a bit.
We go off topic. We go super off topic. What we got next? I know we ain't got too much time left. What we got last?
Oh, man. Hey, listen, to be honest, we were going to run into my numbers segment, but we'll save that for tomorrow when Tedeschi is back. Mm-hmm. But real quick update. Did you see that Bobby Shmurda, like his application for parole, which is early release from prison, got denied. So he's going to be staying in jail, prison actually, till 2021. That is so unfortunate because think about it. That's his whole sentence. I thought this was shaved time off and stuff like that. He got locked up in 2014, got 7 years. He still won't get out until 2021. Thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I mean, crush and blow. You know what I mean? Just as a fan, we all thought that, we was gonna be doing the Shmurda dance again and all that. We was imagining everything without.
We were ready for it for Christmas. We thought the Christmas was gonna be lit.
We was ready for our time with him like coming back into the scene. But it's unfortunate. The crazy thing about it is actually it is his time. 7 years would be next year. You know what I mean? So I want to see what happens with Rowdy. You know what I mean? I think that Rowdy is still on schedule to be released in December. So it's going to be kind of weird, but not having one of them and not both of them. But, I guess he got to hold it down for him.
Hey, they didn't give too much details on why they denied his parole. I can't. We haven't heard anything that like he's fighting, he's doing this, he's been like. But again, we maybe sometimes we wouldn't know. I'm just hoping that even if a couple of months. I know we're nearing the end, but even if a couple of months, he could be transferred to a halfway house. Kind of reworked back into society, and of course, he could get a chance to be beyond that cage and be with his family. So, my thoughts and prayers go to him, and also like his mom. Like I got to like see his mom a lot, like when she became very more present, especially while she was trying to deal with his affairs. So salute to her as well.
Yeah, man.
Listen,
this is what happens when you stay solid, unfortunately. But
hey, listen. The GS9 about to come home to a great reception. I can tell you that. Okay. Listen, I wish we had more time. Productions tell me, listen, Ak, we don't give a fuck that the desk is not here. We will cut this whole shit off. We'll disconnect your internet. So we're going to wrap for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you guys check us out. Follow us all on social. And just make sure you guys hit that like. You guys are watching on YouTube. Thank you. It's been a great episode. Final words, Wayno. I kept it short.
Man, my final words, man. Salute to all the nerds out there. I mean, salute to all the nerds.
Okay, yo, Wayno, you got to get a pocket protector and the glasses. It fits. Like, come on now. Come on. Yo, they be thinking you have bad vision in the comment section.
Or they think I'm high all the time. No, I'm not. I'm not high. But peace, y'all.
All right, thanks for tuning in. We're out.